Welcome to this Blender tutorial where I will be talking about applying scale. This is part of the how-to series. I will be targeting a specific topic which I believe is confusing to people who just started learning Blender, whether they just started Blender as their first 3D application or they're coming from another application. So here we see two cubes in the scene, and they look like pretty much like the cube that you get, the famous cube that you get once you start Blender. And this one is actually, this is the default cube. It's a cube of 2 by 2 by 2 meters. Okay, and this one, which looks identical, isn't in reality identical. And if I select this one, I see a very essential difference here, which is on Z-axis, the scale is 10 rather than 1 on X and Y, right? While this guy here has 1 on all 3 axes. And if by any chance you cannot see this menu here, this is under item. Whenever you select an object, you get this menu. And if it's hidden, just press the shortcut of N while you're hovering your mouse over the 3D view, and you can get this menu here. Okay, so under item, you can get these transforms. Okay, so to show you the difference, and you might say, well, if they look the same, then they are the same. Why do I need to care about this? Well, because down the road, if you won't be modeling a cube, and most probably, and if you just come and do an operation here, let's just put a simple bevel. So I'll select the cube, go to the modifiers properties, and add a modifier of bevel. And this is what I expect to get when I add this modifier here. While if I go to the other cube that has a scale on Z-axis of 10 and I add the same bevel modifier, this is what I get, okay, which is extremely unexpected, unless this is what you're looking for. And why did this happen? Well, Blender has in the information that this edge here, the height of this cube, is 10 times bigger than this. And since the bevel modifier is being executed depending on the scale, so this is what you get here. Okay? Now, there is an easy fix, which is just by selecting this cube, okay, I can press a shortcut of Ctrl and A, and I get the Apply Transform menu, and I apply the scale here, and then this cube is exactly identical to that cube there. Okay? So now we move to how did this happen? And if you do this intentionally, that's great, but most of the time, especially beginners, they do this unintentionally and they get this results, which happened to me many times because I kept forgetting about applying the scale. And I start going here and say, what's wrong with this? And usually it's not a cube, it's another shape. So you get what I'm talking about. And I start trying to fix this here. Okay, and start, well, maybe not the width method. I need to use the offset, I need to use the width, or to use the percent, or, you know, I start fiddling here, and percent fixed it. Well, it wasn't about offset or width, or it was only about applying the scale. That was it. I don't need to fiddle anything here with the bevel modifier. I can let it be. I just need to fix this thing here. And this happens usually whenever you're modeling in object mode. There is nothing wrong in modeling in object mode, of course, except when you forget to apply the scale. Okay, so let's say I'm trying to make I'll just delete the bevel. I'll try to make the base of a pillar, for instance, and I press SZ in object mode and 0.1. Okay, to make this the base. Then I go to edit mode and select this face, inset it. Okay, and create more segments. And I won't do this for long, honestly. So I go here to the tools, to the edit, loop tools, and I circle this, make a circle, and I extrude it by a meter, so E1. And what? This is not a meter, okay? If you know that this is 2 meters, this height definitely cannot be a meter. So why did this happen? Well, this is why it happened, because for Blender, this is actually this object, this model is actually not what it looks here. It's actually this. And yes, this is an extrusion of 1 meter. Okay, so here, this is the original object. When I scaled this on z-axis in object mode, this is suitable for animation, not for modeling. Okay, so you can of course scale in object mode, but just remember to do Ctrl A and apply the scale every time. When you do not want to apply transform is when you're animating. Okay, so if I'm doing some animation and I want this to be scaled up, so SZ, and scale it up, then go to another frame and SZ scale it down. This here, I don't need to touch the scale, I don't need to apply the scale. Okay, so just keep this thing in mind. This is will be very useful down the road while working in Blender. Apply the scale. Wow, what was that? Apply the scale. So thank you for watching, and see you in the next one.